Hey, boys and girls, it's the day after the Oscars, and I'm here with a full throttle recap to talk about everything that happened last night. We're going to talk about that ending. Obviously, like La La Land gets called for Best Picture, and then it's like, wait, no, it's Moonlight. Like, mass confusion. Oh, and I do mean, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty get on the stage, and there's a mishap with the envelope. They got the Best Actress envelope, so Warren Beatty opens it up, and it says Emma Stone, and then he doesn't know what to do. He's like, then he, just gives it to Faye Dunaway, and then she sees Emma Stone, and she's like, oh, it must mean La La Land. So she announces La La Land. The La La Land people come on the stage, and they're like super excited. It was kind of the win that I was expecting. And then after mass confusion on the stage, everybody looking around crazy, I think it was the producer from La La Land who was like, let me take charge of this situation, and was like, yo, there's been a mishap. This isn't a joke. Moonlight, you actually won. Come get your award. And everybody's like, wait, what? What? So the cast comes on stage and they're all confused because Mahershala is who he is. He gives an interview, I guess it was to People, and he's like, it was good to win. You've just killed someone else's joy. And it's not any of the cast of Moonlight's fault, and it's not any of the cast of La La Land's fault. I don't even think it's Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty's fault. Like, I wish Warren Beatty had just turned to the side and said, I think this is the wrong envelope. But I get that it's a live broadcast and he doesn't want to mess up the flow. He doesn't want to embarrass anyone. I mean, there's a lot of human psychology going on there. And I'm sure at some point Malcolm Gladwell will all bless us with the breakdown of how the mind works and how that whole thing played out. It was just really a devastating moment for everyone. Like this, we're gonna talk about Madame Halle Berry. We're gonna talk about what was on her head, whether that was hair, if that was real hair or synthetic hair, because the jury's still out. So Halle Berry is one of the most beautiful women alive, and last night was no exception. Last night her hair was not right. Her body was 10. Her dress amazing. Face button cute. Don't look no parts of nowhere near 50, but yet is. That don't make any sense. But she had a bad night. It is what it is. It happens to the best of them. Now there's some question as to whether, is this Halle's hair? Is this not Halle's hair? She says it's her hair. She did an interview with Daily Mail UK, and she told the Daily Mail that last night her hair choice was a celebration of her natural hair, natural texture, things of that nature. Sister Halle, I don't think it was your hair. I'm not gonna be PC today. I don't think it was your hair. I think you got a wig, and I think you got an expensive wig, and I think you got a crappy stylist who did you dirty. You need a black hairdresser, because old boy Castillo, I think that's his name, he did an interview with InStyle, and he went on and on about how it was 2 weeks of planning this hair, and he put all this product in the hair, and they ran the prices. It was like $600. Baby girl, you could have got some Pantene and some twist out cream from wherever you picked up that wig at, and it would have done you much better. To credit, natural hair does what natural hair wants to do. Natural hair has a mind of its own, but I need you not to pretend that hair was okay. Just take the L. I've taken L. I've been on national TV with my hair looking crazy. People be on my Instagram like, D, I can see the knots in your hair. You absolutely can, because I ain't combed that shit today. Sometimes your priorities ain't looking good. It was either the book goes out or my hair looks good. The book went out. I got paid. Halle Berry last night on her bad day is still like bomb ass Halle Berry. You good. Just take some scissors to that top part. Just get in there. Get in there. And let a black girl get in there. Because your boy Castillo, no. Mahershala Ali out here having the best week ever. Allah is continuing to bless him. He prays 5 times a day. It's evident because his life is golden. He got an Oscar last night. He had a baby 5 days ago. And this morning he announced he's the new face of Calvin Klein. Got 2 half-naked pictures floating all over the Instagram. Got women gasping and wiping themselves at the office. Like, sir, yes. You are living your best life right now, and you deserve it. Because I'll tell you, when he got Best Supporting Actor, I cried. He did a really wonderful interview for The Undefeated, and the title was something like, Mahershala Ali has been waiting 16 years to become an overnight sensation. So just in like the last maybe 6, 7 months, like everyone starts to know his name. Like he's all over the place. Like every time you open a magazine, boom, he's there. You go watch a movie, boom, he pops up. And he pops up in these roles that are just like, not the whole movie, but he makes an impact. And I can't wait to see him in a lead role, because Lord knows he's fine enough to make it. We saw him in a suit, so we knew he was something, but now we seeing him in his birthday suit, and it's still something. Good for him. Like, I love to see people in their moment, arrive in their moment, humble in their moment, happy in their moment. Like, it did my heart good. I felt warm and fuzzy inside. Denzel Washington in tears at the Oscars, like that hurt my heart. So Casey Affleck won for Best Actor. He won over Denzel Washington, and it was heartbreaking to me because he did his thing in Fences. Like, my mama was disgusted with Denzel when we left the theater, and that says a lot. Like, that is her boo. About the quality of his work, about the talent, about how he didn't just bring his A game. Like, he brought everything he had to that role. In the same way that he brought it to Malcolm X, he brought it to this. So Casey gets the award, and the first thing out of his mouth is to thank Denzel. And he says, Denzel, you taught me how to act, and this is my first time meeting you tonight, and so thank you. And Denzel gave him the blankest of blank faces that ever did blank. Like, he gave no damns. He didn't try to graciously accept. Denzel was not here for that. It's similar to what Adele did with Beyonce at the Grammys, but very different, because Adele is a known Beyonce stan. She loves Beyonce. She was very emotional. She talked about very specifically how Lemonade had changed her life. Casey, it just sounded like pandering and guilt. Like, I know I don't really deserve this ish, but I want to just say something because I feel bad, but I'm going to accept this award. That hurts. And you can see the hurt on his face. He didn't even try to hide it. I don't know if he could hide it if he wanted to. Did Casey have the acting chops? I don't know. I didn't see Manchester by the Sea. I'm being PC. I don't care who comes up against Denzel. They lose. That's just the way I see the world. It is what it is. So Casey and Nate Parker. I've read a lot of discussion about how it was, I don't know if ironic is the right word, but it's the word people are using, that Casey Affleck was accused of sexual harassment and by 2 different women, and it was pretty bad. He settled out of court. And when he was doing the press rounds for Manchester by the Sea, it didn't become the big story that it did for Nate Parker and the woman that he was acquitted of raping. I hope I said that correctly, because he was acquitted. I want to use the correct language. But Casey didn't get the Nate Parker treatment, because Nate Parker, like Birth of a Nation, which was at the beginning of the year a huge Oscar contender, broke records at Sundance, and it wasn't even nominated for anything. Nate Parker didn't receive 1 mention, 1 award. He wasn't, to my knowledge, at the awards last night. I didn't see him on the carpet. The BuzzFeed article, and it did a really good job. It talked about race a little bit. It talked about privilege a lot. But one thing it just didn't specifically just outright say is that race played a huge factor here. And that's not to say that Nate Parker should not have been dragged. It's to say that Casey Affleck should have been dragged. Black folk know, because we're all taught, that to be as successful as a white person, you have to be twice as good. When we hear good, the meaning of that is usually in terms of talent, in terms of skill, in terms of grades, in terms of presentation. You can't just skate by and be like, oh, I just showed up. No, you have to be like one of the best to ever do it to receive the baseline that other people, white people, receive. But good also extends to morality and actions, which we don't talk about as much, but we all know. Like, President Obama would not have been able to be president of the United States as a C student. He would not have been able to be president of the United States if there were butt booty naked pictures of his wife flashing her cho-cha on the cover of the New York Post or floating around the internet. For Nate Parker to have done something to a white woman, no less, even 17 years ago, but then 17 years later to show up unremorseful about it, just wasn't gonna fly. It is what it is. It's racist is what it is, but it is what it is. Nate Parker did not play into the twice as good morally. And He couldn't overcome it. Affleck got the benefit of the doubt. Boys will be boys. Black guys don't get that, especially not when it comes to white women. And I'll leave it at that. Janelle Monáe looking like a vision of Black Cersei, Tinkerbell, fairy tale fantasy, gothic Tudor loveliness. That she just looked good. We need to talk about Robin Roberts' cake, because I didn't know all that was back there. And I'm a Robin Roberts fan. Like, I follow Robin Roberts on Instagram. I've done GMA. I was scrolling through Instagram and she just got on, she's nice, a tall drink of water. So she's got on this gold dress looking very much like, the Oscar. And then she was like a side, and it wasn't a bump. It was a backyard. Robin, ma'am, you don't look like what you've been through, and you're not supposed to. You took the old folks' advice. You said, I'm going to get out here and glow up and show off. And ma'am, you did that. You and your cake. And hold on, how old is Robin? Let's real talk this. I'm asking, how old is Robin? Not to be disrespectful, but because I know Robin ain't a woman in her 20s and her 30s, but Robin walking around looking like a knockout. She's trying to give some young chicks a run for their money, and I'm not mad at her. That's how you supposed to do grown life. Oh, Mother Viola, Auntie looked good. Auntie showed up and said, look, I found what works for me. I'm going to put on just a dramatic pop of color, and I'm going to put on my cocoa butter and let my skin just radiate God's blessing of melanin, and I'm just going to look good for y'all. I'm going to put on my good hair. You didn't put on a ton of makeup because you don't need it. You came out with your pretty teeth, with your good whitener, and your fine man. Your man looked proud. It did me nice in the heart to see that love emanating from one Black person to another. And you gave your speech, you knocked it out the park like you always do. You got your Oscar and you took your picture backstage like it was your newborn baby. And ma'am, you deserve that. You earned that. You deserve that. It was long overdue, and I'm glad you got your due, because that was your portion. And that wasn't no throwaway giveaway. Like, you did your thing. The snot coming from your nose, I was standing here right beside you. I would try to imitate it, but I just did my makeup, Viola. I can't do that, babe. But you did that. These grown women out here killing it. Robin just killing it. Viola killing it. Taraji, she showed up last night looking like a bag of money. She said, I'm not going to give you a lot of fuss today. I'm going to give you some dramatic neckline. I'm going to give you some jewelry. I'm going to give you some hair. And I'm going to give you some body. Taraji, ma'am, you look good. Yo, Gary from Chicago, that man gave me life. I've heard some people complaining about the skit, though. Like, they thought Kimmel was being exploitative, and I didn't think so. I thought it was like lighthearted fun. Like, let me tell you something. If I go out to LA, and Gary and his fiance, everything about them says that they're not bouncing all over the world every day. Gary and his fiance have jobs. They saved up for this trip. They went on vacation together, and they were like, you know what, we're going to get on this bus and we're going to go see some celebrity stuff around LA. If I pay, say, $40 to go ride around LA and look at celebrity houses, and as a bonus for that trip, I get to show up at the Oscars, yes, that's a bomb-ass trip. Ain't nobody mad. Gary didn't feel exploited. His fiance didn't feel exploited. They were happy to be there. Gary got to see Halle Berry, Taraji, Janelle Monáe, Viola Davis, Denzel. Gary was it. Mahershala Ali, he held an Oscar, a real live Oscar. I work in entertainment. I ain't never held no Oscar. I've seen an Oscar up close behind some glass at a display, but I ain't never seen no actual Oscar like in my hand. Gary from Chicago, he got that. He took the Oscar from Mahershala and was like, yeah, you hold the camera while we take a Ussie with your Oscar. His fiance, understand, Gary's fiance is of a certain age. When she told her girlfriends she was going out to LA with her man, she mentioned to them, girl, I'm trying to see Denzel when I'm out there. Remember years and years and years ago on Martin, when like the whole crew went out to LA and Pam spent the whole time trying to see Denzel? That was Gary's fiance. She told her friend, she was like, girl, I'm trying to see me some Denzel. She had the rollers in her hair. She was getting under the dryer. She was talking mad ish. No one thought she was actually going to see Denzel. She ends up at the Oscars. Denzel comes over and blesses her union and does a fake quickie marriage. No wonder Gary wouldn't put the damn phone down. Gary was like, ain't nobody in the barbershop. They ain't gonna believe me. They gonna think I'm telling big fish tales. Gary was like, I'm about to document the hell out of this. Get me that Oscar. Get me these selfies. Come, Denzel, get in this picture. You understand? Those pictures are playing on a slideshow at their wedding. And I hope he had video, because that's going to be a video at the wedding. That whole wedding is going to be about the union, the do you, I do. Do you too? Yes. And let's get to this video of that time we went to LA and we met everybody. Dim the lights and roll the video, please. They're going to tell that story forever. And they should, because that's a dope ass moment. Gary went to the goddamn Oscar. He met all the black people. Jimmy was like, Gary, it looks like you're skipping over the white people. Gary was like, yeah, I am. Gary ain't had no shame. Let me tell you about Black Gary from Chicago. Black Gary from Chicago is like my black daddy from Mississippi. My daddy watches the news. He will watch MSNBC or CNN all day. If he starts flipping channels, he starts flipping until he sees some black people. And he will stop and watch whatever is black on TV. Gary was living his best life. And it got better when he walked into that hall with all them celebrities. Gary's great. Y'all complain about Gary. Y'all want Gary's life because your ass wasn't at the Oscars. Mine wasn't either, so I ain't shading you. I'm just saying, I'd be Gary for a day. I would have walked in there and I would have kept my camera rolling too. Good for Gary. And his fiance. You know, she put it on him last night. You got her out in LA meeting Denzel. That lady was lit. Good for her. Good for them. Good. That's all I got, y'all. I said everything I have to say. If you got more to say, say it in the comments. Would love to hear you. Bye.